Hey, good morning. John here. Welcome back. It's August 19, 2026, 7:16. I wanted to walk through some changes on SurfCraft this morning. Just to let you guys know as the app develops kind of what's going on. So we have the surf alert. That's a new thing. I don't think I had that in here in the last video. This is just for people that want to have an alert if surf is going off near their area. All you got to do is go in here and set your GPS or your location, and then you can select your radius there and then the conditions that you want. So you have the basic conditions, then down here you have wave size, and then down here you have period and wind. So if you set those up, you'll get a beep, a bell, or a chime. Really easy to use. It works well. Sometimes it's hard to get this little X here or see the settings on a phone. That sometimes hides behind the upper menu bar there. So just rotate your phone, play around. You might see a little piece of that thing. I'll fix that in the future, but right now it works, and we'll leave it the way it is for now. But that's there. And then so completely separate from that, I updated the AI assistant here. And try to get it to not hallucinate and make things up. So we put some guardrails on that and gave it context for the various changes that have occurred over the last couple of months. It had been a while since I had updated that guy, so he was starting to lie about things. Not good. Reminder, SurfCraft is not AI. We got a lot of that going on right now out there, especially in the surf community. I don't like it for that reason. I do like it as a tool, and that's what we use it here for. In SurfCraft, we give you the tools, especially in the board generating stuff, to do secondary analysis and kind of carry your design on. And if you want to get questions answered, get an industry assessment, all that kind of stuff. It'll also generate pictures and things like that, and all those prompts are automatically generated for you. All you got to do is paste that into your favorite AI model. So anyway, moving on to the big stuff. Okay, so we've been doing some heavy lifting on the storm predictions, hurricanes, tropical storms, swell propagations and things like that. So there's a lot of math going on. It's real information is being pulled from different services through APIs into SurfCraft, and then SurfCraft does some calculations in order to lay that out on the screen for you to look at. And so we're going to go there right now. We can do that through Find Surf, but there's also some things that show up in Check Surf, so we're going to run through that really quick. All right, Find Surf. So we go to the map. We have some active storms right now. If you notice, the map repeats. It's just the way it is. If you consider the world is round, it comes around and connects to itself. So sometimes you'll see a storm here, and if I zoom out, you'll see another different storm. This is Hurricane Lala, and then over here we have a tropical storm, Saudel. And as you see there, you have cards for arrival times and things like that. So when you open those from the surf report, it'll give you a little zoom to storm feature that will zoom you into the right side. It's going to zoom left for one and right for the other. That's just because they're right on the border where the map kind of changes over. But don't worry about that. If you zoom into this, you have the storm projected path. That's all pulled from data from NOAA, or the I think it's the Joint Typhoon Warning Center or something for the typhoons in the Pacific. Anyway, that's real data. This is a projected path for this particular tropical storm. It's tropical storm now, projected to become a Cat 4 or equivalent typhoon. And in here you have the swell arrival time, so you get a little chart there, and there's some information here about what's actually going on and how to compare that to the surf report. But if you're in here, we'll go ahead and close this. You start noticing there's surf breaks here. If this was on the Atlantic coast or other coast lines, you see this the same thing. And so you just go in here, and if you got a storm nearby, you just select that right there. We're going to go to Cloud 9. At the same time, it's going to scan that whole area. And as you can see, I selected that. Actually, it won't actually it should scan 500 miles, so other breaks are more than 500 miles, so that's why I didn't pick those up. I'm going to go over to the Atlantic. Actually, we can do it right here, and I'm going to show you there's some nearby breaks, and when I scan them, you'll see what happens. They all get picked up. I think I showed you this in another video. So it's scanned within 500 miles and it scored those breaks. So you can click any one of these and get a full surf report. So that's kind of what I was saying. So we're going to go back up to the storm here. We're going to click Cloud 9 right there. We're going to click it again. If you notice, I click it. The first click is a scan. The second click is go to the report. And you can click, like I showed you, on any break that's nearby. We can also go up here, just as an example, and select this one. And there it scored all of them in that area. So I can go to any of these directly to the surf report, or you can read the different forecasts for different days down here on the bottom. So most of these are August 24th. Or 22nd, August 24th, and then out in the future. And as the confidence level drops off, you'll see these subdued. Or the conditions are worse, whatever the case is. But we're going to go ahead and select this guy right here for August 23rd. Now notice I selected that for the day that was forecasted, so it put me there, Sunday, August 23rd, and it shows you the surf. It also shows you, this is a big thing here, if I go to any of these breaks, I'll do it again, you'll see a slight delay, and then you'll see this little card show up here. This is picking up the hurricanes that affect that break. So hurricane storms, you see here it says Cat 4 Hurricane Lala, +1. The +1 is a tropical storm that we're looking at. So we go to that card and you can see here Hurricane Cat 4 Lala, and then you get that tropical storm Chaudel. I don't know what the reasoning for stacking one over the other is. I might be proximity, it might be severity. There's some logic behind the screen that or behind the app that's doing that. I haven't really looked into that, so just be aware it puts that card up there, and once you break that down or go into that, you'll see the storms right here. If you want to go to the map detail, again, back to that map. Splitting, you don't see them both at the same time in the same area, so you just go to the map detail and it'll zoom you into that. You can scroll down over here on the right to see that a little bit better. You can also go full screen right here. That can help. You just drop that back there and you got the split view. And the reason I have the split view is so that you can look at the windy information at the same time you're looking at the map up here, so you can compare the two to see what's going on. If we back out of the windy map, there you can see some of the stuff there. This is probably that storm right here. If we click into that right there right now, we see we have 14-foot 11-second period swells coming out of that storm. So you can start to compare the data here with the data there. So that's why we have the two maps. We can go back in here. I think I was going to show you the break. Yeah, pretty much this information up here. So if we go to Lala, you'll see it scan over to it should scan actually to the map detail. I think if I go here, why is it not doing that? Let's see what happens there. It went to Lala that time. I think it was because I was in the region. Maybe it just didn't scan all the way over. I'm not sure. Let's see. I did it that time. Maybe it was just me. Anyway, it'll jump over to the storm that it's showing there. If you just hit that map detail there. All right, swell signal. Swell signal. Originally I had period in here, but there's a lot of differences in terms of primary, secondary, and tertiary swells that are picked up from the information, and in those they have different periods, and so it can become confusing when you're looking at this versus what's actually forecasted. And because the swell is so close, and the wave models and the GFS and WW3 and so forth are picking up that data in the report, I took it out of here. This is just a graphical representation of the storm information, and when it's close and affecting the break, you can pick that up by just going into the surf report itself. So Well, so this is storm information. That's what this is. You can, I think over time, I'm going to put some explanations and add some frequently asked question information to describe some of what it's saying here. High confidence. Why is it high confidence? Partial. I mean, there's a little information here. Maybe it'll break it down a little bit, but I don't think there is for these other ones. So model, partial. There's a little description. So lots of hover tips in the app for now. So probably more than I remember. But the whole idea is make sure everybody's informed of what's going on in here. So anyway, that's that. If you want to close that, you got to hit this guy right here. We go right back to the surfer port. Again, the pictures in the background of the tide graph represent kind of the time of the day. So there's a lot of cool stuff going on with that. The pictures actually are supposed to coincide with the time and the conditions at the break. And so there's a lot of imagery in the background that's getting pulled into this just for kind of a cool little background feature there. All right, so we have the report. I don't think there's anything in particular I haven't gone over. Just real quick, if you haven't seen it, we have the hourly breakdown for the days. This is all hours of the day. You can see all the contributors to the surf report right there. That's how it's all scored. We have the swell information. So again, we have the windy map there so you can confirm the two. These you have all the different screens of what's going on with the swell, the wind, the gusts, and everything else. So you can compare that to what it's saying up here. This map up here, you have the labels, so you can declutter it if you want. You can see swell wrap if there is any. You can have the wind direction and so forth right there. You can move this around. You can place it at different places close to the break to see how it might be affecting one of those other breaks nearby. You can have the blocking. There's island blocking and so forth. That if the break is affected by that, it'll bring in that information. Wind C. It's a combination of wind and swell, primary and secondary swells right there. So you can turn all that stuff on and off to declutter the screen, or you can go up here and just full screen it and so forth. So I did all that because it's a little bit hard. It gets crowded, and people with phones might have a hard time kind of looking at all that stuff. So anyway, there you go. That's what's there. Got the wind, radars. By the way, I haven't showed you. These things do zoom in. So you can zoom these in, move them around, and then you just hit this little guy right here, and that recenters it. It recenters it on the coordinates because if you notice, it went over land. That's because the models actually snap a grid point to get the information for the break there, and that grid point just happens to be over that little section of land right there. So don't worry about that. Just move it there. Again, it says wind here, but you also have swell analysis going on. And if you're at a break, for instance, and we'll just type it in here, hit the little home guy there. We'll go, let's see, we'll go Waikiki. And I want to show you everything changes dynamically for the break. So sometimes you want to refresh. We'll see what happens here. Oh, we're in a forecast day. That's why we're, let me redo this here. I think what's going to happen is we're going to go to Waikiki. You always want to make sure your time and date align with, we came out of a forecast for Sunday, August. It's back there, 23rd, and we're going to Waikiki on that forecasted day. So you're not going to get live wind and buoy data because we're still on that day. So we're going to change this back to today. Then we're going to go to the wind screen, and now we're going to have all the data. So here we have buoy right there, 13-second. So the app is looking at the model information. It's comparing it to the buoy information. It's showing you the different inputs on that radar based on the color coding down here. So make sure you're looking at, hey, what's being used. There's your buoy information. There's your swell profile from the WW3 model. So, you know, as you're going through this, I know it's a lot of information, but for those that are interested, then, you know, pay attention to all the different stuff going on here. All that contributes to the forecasting. Anyway, this was not supposed to be a deep dive on everything but I like to always add a little bit to some of these videos if people haven't seen this stuff before. Week, there's your summaries for the week. So this is pretty much green all day, so that's a really good day there at Waikiki. We have a little bit of wind here in the morning, a little glass off, and a little bit more wind, and then glass off for the rest of the day. Got a good day Friday. Saturday is looking like not so good, and Sunday's looking really bad. Probably got a storm or something moving in here or there. You got a little cloud with some rain, and probably some wind and so forth. So that's a really neat feature. You can get a snapshot of your week and what the days are looking like. So that's really handy. And then we have a basic weather report with a cool picture in the background. Tide information. This is NOAA's doing the tides for international, or for CONUS and the United States. And international is using world tide, so you'll see when we change to international that we have a little different tide source there. Then we have some basic maps. We got the whole windy interface right here. It's got all the embedded stuff. You can play around with that. You can also use the quick buttons here for different views. So you got the GFS model there. You got the EC, the European model there. So a little bit different information. You got map 2 here. That's topo street. That's just for planning purposes. If you want to look at the land, see what's going on with maybe hiking in or something like that. Then we have the buoy information, and I think this one shows last observation was this morning, early 11. You can look that up, what that UTC is, Universal Time, and then do the equivalent local time. All right, and then we have the energy at the break. Yeah, it's there if you want it. And then we have the data, which pulls up some cool information about the surf break. There we go. And details. Some of these are tailored a lot more, like if you go to Chopu or Pipeline and so forth, there's quite a bit more information in here that also has kind of alerts for first reef, second reef, and so forth for Pipeline. And then Chopu has some specific information about the break and the reef and so forth. So anyway, that's there. All right, there you go. That was enough, I think, for today. Yeah, so we got some new changes, some updates to the AI. We've got the alert up there. We've got a little bit of description of what's going on with the fine surf and the storm information. So there you go. Hope that helps. Be safe out there. This is John signing out.